Some moments in history just echo, don't they? They reach far beyond the battlefield. They're not just stories about who won or who lost. They're these profound, living lessons that get etched into the very landscape. So today, we're going to dive into one of those events, the Battle of Uhud. And that right there, that's the central question of Uhud. It's this incredible story where a battle that was seemingly won just completely unravels. And in doing so, it reveals these timeless truths about obedience, leadership, faith, and, well, the deepest struggles that happen inside the human heart. So, our first lesson starts at what should have been the moment of triumph. The Muslim forces had the upper hand. And I mean, victory looked like it was in the bag. But everything, and I mean everything, hinged on one critical piece of high ground. See, the prophet's instruction to his archers, it was absolute, crystal clear. Their position up on this mountain was the strategic key to the whole thing. Their job? Protect the army's flank no matter what they saw happening down below. The success of the entire battle really rested on their discipline. Well, as the enemy started to fall back, the archers looked down and saw the spoils of war being gathered on the battlefield. And in that one moment, this powerful internal conflict just erupted. It was a test. Was their focus going to be on the immediate reward right in front of them, or on the command they were given? This verse, wow, it just captures the divine commentary on that exact moment. Seeing the battle as won, most of the archers charged down the mountain to claim their share, completely convinced their job was done. They chose the tangible, immediate gain over the unseen wisdom behind their command. And the result? It was catastrophic. The enemy cavalry saw that unprotected flank, swept around the mountain, and attacked from the rear. So here's the main takeaway. Victory turned instantly into a near disaster. It's this powerful illustration that the dangers inside of us, like greed or just a moment of lapsed discipline, can be so much more destructive than any enemy on the outside. All right, let's shift gears to what was probably the darkest moment of the entire battle. In all the chaos that followed, something happened that struck at the absolute core of the believers' faith, and it caused their morale to just completely collapse. This rumor, which was false but totally believable in all the mayhem, it just spread like wildfire. And for many of them, their world just crumbled. The source material says they were afflicted with weakness, and some even stopped fighting. Their resolve was just so closely tied to the physical presence of their leader. But this moment, it forced a really critical distinction to be made, the difference between the messenger and the message. The prophet, just like all the messengers who came before him, was a mortal man. The message he carried, though, was from the ever-living God, and that message was eternal. And this verse was revealed to correct their perspective, right then and there. It was this powerful reminder, you're not worshiping Muhammad, you're worshiping the Lord of Muhammad. The faith itself has to survive beyond any single person. The duty to carry that message, well, that now lies on the shoulders of the followers forever. Okay, so what about the aftermath? I mean, how does a leader respond to a mistake that costs so much? Well, the answer we get from Uhud is just a profound lesson in leadership and compassion. And let's be really clear here. The archers' disobedience was a severe, disastrous error. This wasn't some small slip-up. It nearly led to the destruction of the entire community. You'd think a really harsh response would be justified, right? But that's not what happened. Not at all. The prophet didn't kick them out or publicly shame them. Guided by divine instruction, he responded with gentleness and mercy. He was told to forgive them, to pray for them, and, this is amazing, to consult with them in future affairs. This is what preserved the unity of the community when it was at its most fragile. But, the archers' mistake, as big as it wasn't the only internal challenge they faced that day. There was another, much more deliberate act of sabotage that happened before the first arrow was even fired. Think about this. At the most critical moment, as the army is marching towards the battlefield, a full 1/3 of the forces just turns back. And this wasn't a tactical retreat. It was an intentional act of betrayal, led by the hypocrites, and it was designed to shatter the morale of everyone who stayed. But this crisis actually served a purpose. It exposed those whose loyalty was really just for show. As the verse says, their actions revealed what was truly in their hearts. The pressure of that moment really separated the sincere from the insincere. And what's really fascinating is the analysis in the source material here. It points out that this huge withdrawal had, and I quote, no negative impact whatsoever on the battle's initial outcome. The real turning point wasn't this external betrayal, but the internal disobedience of the sincere believers up on the mountain. The lesson was obvious. Rely on God, not on your numbers. So let's bring this all full circle and end this explainer right where we started, on the mountain itself. After all the pain, the betrayal, and the hard-won wisdom, the story of Uhud wraps up with this surprising and beautiful lesson about our connection to the world around us. This was the prophet's statement about Mount Uhud. After a day defined by so much loss and human error right there on its slopes, he didn't see a place of tragedy. No, he saw a landmark that shared a bond of love with the believers. And this just brilliantly illustrates a final lesson: to find and to give back love, even in the silent, steady presence of the world God has created for us. A world that stands as a witness to our struggles and ultimately to our growth.